An enormous reptile floats in the river, 17 feet of scales, teeth, and claws. Normally, this would be a sight to strike terror into any observer, but this behemoth is eerily still. The creature is dead, an object now more worthy of pity than fear. What's more, its death could lead to a lot of trouble in the future. Apart from sharks, it's their one predator that people never want to meet in the water, a crocodile. The reptile's stealth, speed, and mercilessness jaws are legendary. Saltwater crocodiles are known to prey on large animals like water buffalo and kangaroos. Occasionally, human beings are on the menu too. Crocs have been around for millions of years, and for good reason. They're very well designed, both their environment and for hunting down prey. The animals' bodies are covered in tough plated scales, which form a kind of natural armor, while their feet are both webbed and clawed so they can grip their victims. Thanks to their high-set nostrils which poke out of the water, crocs can creep up on unsuspecting victims easily. These ancient reptiles are fascinating for more than just their hunting abilities. They are surprisingly intelligent and can communicate with others of their species. Crocs share a lot of characteristics in common with lizards and other reptiles. What's surprising, though, is that these scaly creatures are actually more closely related to birds than reptiles. Like birds, they are the only living animals that can trace their ancestry directly back to dinosaurs. Saltwater crocs can be considered the king of crocs, at least as far as their reputation for size is concerned. The species as a whole is enormous, but Australian saltwater crocs can grow up to 20 feet long and weigh over a ton. Also known as salties, they have a wide-ranging habitat that can be found across northern Australia all the way up to Southeast and South Asia. The incredible animals can swim more than 600 miles at a time. They will happily live in freshwater rivers and swamps, as well as brackish coastal waters. Australian salties have been feared, or at least given healthy respect, for as long as there have been people in Australia. Aboriginal tribes hunted them for food, while others considered them sacred. Each had their own techniques for avoiding harm, though. The crocs were once hunted so mercilessly that fewer than 3,000 existed in the Northern Territory. Then, in 1970, crocs were given a protected status in the area, an act that has seen their numbers skyrocket to 100,000. Similar population growth has occurred in Queensland, although the exact numbers are not known. Thankfully, attacks on humans by salties are relatively rare. The sheer number of crocs and their increasing contact with humans means that on an average, there are 1 or 2 fatalities every year. 2014 was especially a bad year, with 4 people losing their lives. Since 1971, Queensland has seen 35 croc attacks on humans. Most victims have been adult males who live locally or are frequent visitors to the area. The number of attacks is increasing despite sporadic attempts to relocate crocs away from populated areas. An unarmed human has little chance of fighting off a saltwater croc. Silently stalking their prey, these ruthless predators use their powerful tails and legs to sunnily spring out of the water. They grab their victims and bite them. Human bones are no match for their jaws, which are among the very strongest in the animal kingdom. Not all encounters between humans and crocs end badly. Sometimes it's the reptile that loses out, particularly if there's a gun. This was the case when an enormous 17-foot saltwater crocodile was killed at Fitzroy River, Queensland, in September 2017. It is a death that may have had serious consequences. Police are searching for the person responsible for killing it. What they know so far is that the croc was killed by a single bullet to the head from a large caliber rifle. The dead crocodile, said to be the largest caught in Queensland, will be buried at a nearby croc farm once a post-mortem is done. The repercussions for the shooting may go on for months. That's because younger male crocs are now expected to battle it out for the territory. People need to clearly understand that the death of this animal has changed the balance of the crocodile population. Michael Joyce from Queensland Department of Environment told the Rockhampton Morning Bulletin, "We can expect increased aggressive activity by younger male crocs. That's because they will be competing to take the dominant position, which is now vacant." Joyce added, "I cannot stress strongly enough the need for all river users to be aware of the risks and to be croc-wise. Being croc-wise means following some common sense rules, such as not swimming where there may be crocs, not provoking or feeding crocs, and keeping a close watch on children." According to the wildlife ranger Tom Nichols, the best way to stay safe is to only swim in the designated croc-free areas. "I regard crocs like humans. You know what they're capable of, but you don't know what they're going to do." There have been plenty of calls to begin culling crocodiles as a way to curb attacks on humans. Stephen Miles, Queensland's environmental minister, said culls would give the public a false sense of safety, leading to complacency and increased risk of attacks. When crocs are almost hunted to extinction, crocodile attacks still occurred. Instead of culling, the Queensland government is in favor of installing barriers and relocating crocs away from populated sites. Potentially dangerous crocs are removed with the aid of traps, some of which have been laid around the area where the 17-foot salty was found. Meanwhile, members of the public have been urged to report any information they have about the giant croc's killer.